This is Brian Drummond here, the OG voice of Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, and you're watching Anime Secrets. It's over 9,000!
Good morning, Delta 8. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Dear Dream, where you get to ask us questions about Nokotan or voice acting or any other kind of shenanigans that you think of. No shipping questions, please. That is the only stipulation. None of that. We start by introducing ourselves. My name is Guzzi. I am the narrator of My Deer Friend Nokotan. I get to make fun of these lovely people you see next to me. Not the deer though, he's cool.
Hey everyone, good morning! My name is Trina Deuhart. I am Nokotan! I am the deer of the show.
Good morning everyone, my name is Nicolette Kong, and I voice Tanukikōji Kinu.
My name is Josh Portillo, and I voice Yoshiharu Tsumamiya, the barista, and also Tsunoda, the deer. No. The deer.
If anyone has any kind of questions, comments, concerns, or anything about the show or anything like that, we can answer them or not. Or we can just sit here and you can look at us awkwardly for an hour. That's fine.
We can chat, do
We
some
can talk about it. We can sing.
Maybe explain our experience of how we got into Nokotan and how our journeys have been with Nokotan. We can also do that.
That'd be a very interesting beginning, honestly.
Amazing. I can start. Oh. Okay. Alright. So, my experience, I've been a remote voice actor for this is going on to my 7th year. Originally started in Jacksonville, Florida, and moved to Orlando. That's where I live right now. And Nokotan just kind of like fell into my lap, basically. Right place, right time, right thing? I don't know. But our friend Donald here has a connection. Hello. Say hi to Donald. Hello.
Hi, Donald.
Donald had a connection to a studio that had actually gotten Nokotan. And he was like, yo, dude, we got this anime. I don't know if it's legit, but you gotta get in. You gotta audition. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know if it's legit or not, too, but sure. Fine. So I auditioned. Our director Lynn is amazing. He's fantastic. And she's like, so we're going to be auditioning for this deer anime. And I'm like, deer anime? And I looked at the footage. As we were auditioning, you see the footage. And I'm like, wait a second, is this that meme that's going on all over the place? Like, of that blonde chick that's like dancing in front of the deer? Like, is that it? She's like, yeah, you're the deer. I'm like, what? She's like, we need a voice for him a little bit, but something deep. I'm like, okay, deep. Jotaro Kujo maybe? Like, that type of deep? She's like, yeah. And so, like, there was just one word, Nook. I'm like, okay. But then there was this one line, this audition line, it didn't happen in the show, but she's like, I need you. How about an aura rush with Nook? And I'm like, okay, like, so, no. And I'm like, is that good? Great, awesome. We'll call you if you like it. I'm like, okay. And I got it, so that's my soul. So, yeah.
Hey, for me, mine was a little similar to it, but I got contacted by a guy first. His name was like Francois, and I was like, he messaged me on a website where I sell my voice acting, and they were like, can you sign up for this website? And I was like, why do you want me to sign up for a website that I never heard of? I'm sure I wasn't the only one, right? No.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so I actually looked them up, and they were legit. They were doing Portuguese dubs for like Demon Slayer, actual mainstream dubs, and And this is like the first or second time doing it in English. And I was like, okay, so they are legit. So I signed up and they made me sign an NDA. And I didn't know what the show was about. All I know was an anime. I don't know what character it was until I had the first session with the director. And they're like, boom, you're going to be this deer girl. A picture of a deer girl. And I said, okay, so it's going to be some generic anime girl that's a deer. And then, a few weeks later, the memes came out, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be legit, it's gonna be big! So, that happened, but I didn't do, like, an audition for any character, because the show wasn't even out yet, right? Not even the first episode. They just gave me the character and was like, here, you do this, listen to the Japanese dub, and do your own take to it. And then, bam, here I am. The first thing I did, it was actually a demo for the first episode, the first 11 minutes of the show. Yeah. Right? And I guess they sent it to the client first so they can approve it. And maybe I guess a few weeks later, then they're like, okay, yeah, I got approved, now you'll do the full episode. I didn't have to record the first 11 minutes again, thankfully, right? But yeah, that's how it happened for me.
For me, I had a friend who had done like a live action dub or had contacted for a live action dub for the studio that did Nokotan. And they're like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about him, but like there's some stuff I'm gonna send a contact to you. And I was like, okay. So I contacted them and they're like, hey, we want to audition for this anime. And I'm like, I couldn't find a lot on the studio. I couldn't really find anything. And I'm like, there are red flags all over this. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. Surprisingly enough, this time it wasn't. But called in, did the audition, and I was like, you know what? Even if this isn't legit, I can just say no and walk away. You know, it is what it is. But I auditioned, and they came back a couple weeks later, like, hey, yeah, you got cast, you're gonna be the narrator. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was kind of disappointed because usually in anime, the narrator's narrating the episode titles, and that's kind of it. I was like, all right. And then I actually get in, and I'm like, oh, I'm saying words. I'm breaking the fourth wall. This is great. I'm on board now. And yeah, and then they had asked, they're like, do you know anyone else? Can we do whatever? And I was like, yeah, Josh. And so they called Josh, and then they reached out to a couple other people like Trina and Rue outside. I think Rue got tagged on LinkedIn of all places. It was incredibly unorthodox the way they went about this, but yeah.
Hello. Okay. My experience was nothing like theirs. Actually, so I was like, y'all audition? In the sense that they were provided lines to actually perform for Lynn directly. Because the way I was kind of recruited to the talent pool, isn't that one of my proudest moments, but sometimes you gotta crash out a little in a semi-public space. So I was lamenting on Instagram about not reaching my goals. And it's it happens. But then Josh reached out to me, and we had never worked together before, but we'd seen each other in the online space in the voice acting community. And he was like, hey, I've seen your work. I know you're good people. I know you do good. Would you like to come on board and join this talent pool? And I'm just like, and he was like, it might be something. It might not. This is not a guarantee. You were kind of vague of whether or not it was actually anime work or not too. Yeah, out of the reverence of your contract, your NDAs. And I was like, okay, sure, why not? And so I entered the talent pool, and Fran, he asked the talents to submit vocal samples. And it was just kind of really shot in the dark. They asked for a slate, and then just kind of whatever. So essentially a demo reel. And I don't trust my demo reel. It's severely outdated. I need to get it updated. So I re-recorded new samples, and they were asking for new samples anyway. And I introduced myself, slated, gave what kind of work and what experience I had, and then I gave them, because like I have experience in like audiobooks, some narration, a lot of character work, and so it was kind of spitfire. Like I gave them like a technical spot, I gave them a narration spot, I gave them a character spot, and the last spot I did was like, I don't know what happened, but I was just like basically this girl that just was bad at counting money, and then that's kind of what I submitted to them. And then they reached out to me and said, "Hey, you booked Tanuki, and for this show called My Deer Friend Nokotan," and I'm just like, oh, these foreign clients, because I saw DEER, and I thought it was a typo. And so I looked up the show, and then I realized that it wasn't a typo. It was an actual deer. And when they sent me the name Tanuki, I thought that I was going to do some other sort of animal girl or animal mascot, because I saw the deer, I saw the deer girl, and I was like, oh, what a cute way to start my voice acting career. An anime, I was like this little animal, cute little. But then I get in the booth, and this is very typical for when you're booking anime and video games. You don't really know what you're recording until you're in there. And then I saw that she was a whole ass human. And I was like, oh! And then I saw her scene, and then I was just like, oh, she's just like me for real. And so I feel very lucky to have been placed in that sort of role. And I do think that that last spot that I delivered in that random vocal sample kind of like hit the nail on the head for that. And that's how I got into Nokotan.
So before we yap even some more, do you guys have any more questions? If not, we can yip all day.
After the anime finished, have you tried reading the manga?
Of course. You gotta read the manga after doing the show.
We call it research.
Research after the fact, but yes. And I'm definitely buying one as they come out, because when the show was coming out, I don't really think any of the manga was officially out in English yet. I think maybe it was just the first book. So, but yes,
Yes, I've read quite a bit of it, and it's really cool that now there's more material being made for it. It's crazy because for the anime, I think they went off of 3 or 4 issues, I believe, which is crazy. Like to have that much new material, like right off the bat, just just 1, 2, 3, 4, and you make a 12-episode anime out of it, and it's really good. It's really cool, and like I know that the manga is still working on it right now. I have issue 5 at the table right now, and I know there's more coming, so it's really cool.
I will say for me, it's very interesting because whenever anime is adapted from manga, sometimes they change the chronological order of the events that take place. And because I voiced a secondary character, secondary class, Tanuki, like her material is like it's not in like the first volume, and that was kind of what was out already. So I had to search really hard to find fan translated manga panels to kind of understand her character and step into her a little bit. And like she's still, even like in the manga up to date, it's still kind of sparse, at least in the English translation. But
any other questions? Anything at all? No hands? Oh, we got 3. So I saw it go in like order from my place.
Do you think, after doing this whole entire anime together, that it has brought you closer not only as individuals, but just as a team, just finishing the anime together. Like you're like, oh, we finished it. You know, this is our first project together. Do you think for any future endeavors, projects, voice work, would this bring y'all close together and wanting to work, look forward to working more?
For me, 100%. I recommend this cast to any opportunity that presents itself. If anyone asks me for any top recommendations, I would 100% recommend this cast to everyone. And everyone's already proven that they will kill it and deliver 100%. So yes, the answer is yes.
Double yes. 100%.
I feel like I have a little bit more of a nuanced take to that question because as voice actors, we don't really get to choose who we work with in terms of other actors. Again, like Donald said, if the director's asking for recommendations, like, yes, 1000%. But we're not necessarily in control of that. But it's also something to note the camaraderie that we've had because this was one of the first fully remote recorded anime to kind of exist, at least in like English. Post-COVID, yeah, post-COVID, when everyone is like really going back into the studio. And so that really resonated a lot with us as we all do a majority of our work from our remote spaces. And then also for our voiceover community as a whole, especially those who don't live in major hubs. And in that sense, it definitely brought us closer together as actors, as people. And I think the vibe that the Nokotan cast gives off, just in general, we're a lot tighter knit than other casts that you might see around. But to answer your question a little bit more, like, you know, it's not like we can choose necessarily, but we would be more than delighted to work with each other again. And it's like, you know, you grow together, you develop together, and we support each other and uplift each other as a team.
They're all good answers. How do I follow that up? I'm gonna go come straight from the heart. That's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, 101%. I recommend this cast. I have been doing it, you know, for a long time now, since the anime came out last year. But I have a lot of comments with this one. It's hard as a remote actor, and at one point, for me at least, I was hitting the wall, and I didn't really have anybody kind of agree. I remember I was at MegaCon Orlando in 2021, and the one voice actor I went to for advice was Joe Michael, and he was a sweetheart. You know, he didn't have to give me this advice, but he said, "Josh, you told me you've been working hard. I believe you. You're making connections. You mentioned your friends in Texas, in Los Angeles. You know, you're making your rounds. And you're genuinely doing it. You're genuinely making connections. But it's like in this field, I recommend getting a group. I recommend like grinding together, working together, and if you genuinely care for one another, you will find ways to make projects. Not all of them, because like Nicolette said, we don't have say over that. But if you all can, like here and there, like sparsely, being in the same projects together and like grinding and getting to the top together, that's what you need to do. I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, and but I know you can do it. So I was like, how the heck do I come up with a freaking group? I'm remote. I'm in Jacksonville. Our NFL team stinks right now, for goodness sakes. Come on! Like, my luck. But then like again, Don showed me this anime, and we were able to get this group, and God's grace. We've become closer because of it, because we all go through the same difficulties too as remote actors. We're all grinding, we're all trying to market ourselves, we're all trying to, grow in our own ways, and it's hard, and we understand each other, and there is a passion behind it, and I see it. Nothing's just been handed. Well, we still had to earn Nokotan.
there were other people auditioning as well. So, that wasn't fully handpicked. But yeah, 101%. Like, if I can recommend this group and all the other castmates that you don't see here, then yes. And to just, grow together and get to the top, whatever area we want to be in, like video games or anime or cartoons, that's the goal. And I just pray to God every single day that we can get it. So.
Got another question?
Yeah. So just kind of build off his question. So voice acting, from what we understand as a fan, it's a very solo activity in terms of you're in the booth by yourself. You don't get to build off each other, but yet you'll have this strong connection. I can tell from y'all just giving the story right now about your individual feelings towards each other. How do you build that connection together when you're not in the same room collaborating on the anime at the same time? Is it through the convention? Is it through, hey, I just need somebody to talk to about how I can do this offline, so when we come in the next day to record, we're doing something. So how does that kind of look and how does that work?
Sorry, I have to start. But it really stems from the goodwill inside your own heart to reach out to people. And to take initiative to step outside of yourself as an actor, because again, recording, even not remotely, especially like anime, the only time you really get like a group together to record would be like in like video games or like Western animation. But usually you're in the booth by yourself with the director, your engineer on the outside, the glass looking in, and then they whisper stuff to each other, and you just stare at them and wonder what are they talking about. So it is a very solitary activity, but it comes from a place of like self-humility and like extending yourself out to like, hey, we're working together in this project, let's connect. And putting yourself out there, trusting that other people will receive you in kind, and that they have the same passion towards that project. For example, in this case, towards Nokotan, towards remote recording anime, towards this endeavor as you do. And that is like the fire and the passion that unites us all. And it builds a strong connection because we're all striving towards the same goal. And that is an incredibly unifying experience.
So yes, incredibly solitary, especially being remote, because I started out in studio, so like I went from being able to directly speak and jive with the engineer and director to being completely solo in my little tiny dark box. Um, but like when Nokotan came out, we all made a big group chat together, so we were all communicating like, "Did you record? What happened?" Like we all had this big group chat because again, we were all remote and we're all. It's not like we're all close together. It's like everyone's spread all across the United States. You got people in the Southeast, Northeast, the Midwest, like. So it's super cool for all of us to come together in that way. And then on top of that, the convention as well has helped us, bond a lot more. Like me and Josh, pretty much almost every single convention that I've been at for Nokotan has been with Josh or Rue or Bay or Trina, and now Nicolette. So like it's really awesome to get to meet everyone in person, after spending a year and a half or however long just talking online about the show, about projects. Like we send each other casting calls. We go like Josh said, find that group. Seems like this might kind of be that group. So we're all pushing each other to strive for greatness and yeah. Lost my train of thought, but I think that suffices as an answer.
Along with that, we also do like online group collabs. Like we play video games together sometimes. We do have the time. We played Reaper together recently. We have another like collab coming up in August, so look forward to that online. We also do projects too together, even outside of Nokotan. A lot of things me and Rue do. We do like a comic together. We do a few things together, and also we actually did a project together with some of the opening with the voice actors, so that was really cool too.
For sorry, y'all. I'm trying to think. Just I think what you said, Nicolette, just coming from the heart and having the same passion and striving together is, what brings us together. For me, because I can only speak from my experience where I'm at, it can't get lonely in Orlando, where I'm at currently. There's no studio around me. There's no immediate voice actors that I really know that I know of that take it as seriously as I do. And sometimes I'm talking about it with my friends that I live with, I've been friends with these people for close to 16 years, high school. And, they don't know the lingo, and I don't expect them to. It's great to have that group to finally connect with that understands the struggle, that you can talk to about, this, that. Man, why didn't you get that thing? Oh, like, stuff like that. But, it can get lonely. It can, especially when things don't work out, or you're going through a lot of life stuff, and you still have to work. I can only I'm speaking for myself. I'm a freelancer, so my workload sometimes does not have, I can't say to my boss, hey, stuff is happening right now, I'm panicking. Can I please take a day or so, a sick day? Mostly, hopefully, that boss at 9 to 5 would say, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I understand. I hope your mother's fine. But no, sometimes you can't. And the people to be with you during that time are the people the people online. And that, at some points, that was this group. So, it comes from a lot of different angles. Life stuff happening, projects happening that don't work out, projects that do work out. Sharing all that together gets you closer. And it's been a really rewarding process meeting everybody, especially for me in this time, for me. That I won't go into really, but yeah.
Hello. So, I want to know, what has been any notable or favorite booth moments during recording Nokotan?
Oh man, okay. So, when Yoshiharu gets introduced, so it's this barista, and I'm like, wow, he looks just like me, but skinnier. Okay, that's okay. No, the word is soul. That's right. Bro doesn't live yet. That episode, I believe it was 7, when they go when Nokotan and Koshitan go into the Tsubamiya Cafe. That was my favorite because all at that point, not hitting all the deer, but all I was saying was good. And I'm like, I wanna flex a little bit, you know what I mean? I wanna do some stuff. And just Lynn's like, I got you. So there's this barista. Now he's calm on the outside, but he's a mess on the inside. He has panic attacks. So I'm just like, great, just like me, awesome. And she's like, but I need some spark with it. I need you in it. Now, what can you bring to the table for this character? And I'm like, well, let's watch the footage. And I'm looking at it like how I play League of Legends with my friends. I got this. And just all the inflections. I'm like how I yell with my friends while playing League of Legends. Like, oh my gosh, what is this? Who is a deer? What do you mean, bro? Stuff like that.
Probably my favorite booth moment was when I was first introduced to Tanukikōji. Like I had mentioned earlier, I didn't realize that she was a real girl. Like show, y'all know that she is something else. And it was really exciting for me as an actor. One, for I guess 2 reasons. One, she is so like overly serious and overly dramatic, and that really resonates with me and my personality and just kind of my state of being. And so I was very, very lucky to have my first anime dubbing role to be a character that I so intimately know just from my own life, my own experiences, just by being geek. The second thing, from a technical standpoint, because she's so dramatic, I knew I could milk it. And that's not very common for like secondary characters that you're able to milk, then like flex your acting skills. And for me in my mind, especially as like a remote actor and this kind of scarcity mindset, I have to prove that I belong in anime. I have to show the world that remote anime works. And number 2, I have to act like this is the last time I'm ever gonna be in an anime. Spoiler alert, it's not! But, thank you. But, like, you act like your life depends on them. So, so that just initial introduction to Tanukikōji and, getting to live and be Kinu, it was so special to me. And I'm so she will forever be my lovely bean, my love I cannot express how much I adore Tanukikōji. And yeah, just meeting her for the first time was probably my favorite moment in the movie.
For me, it's gotta be JoJo Nokotan. She turned into a big, burly, manly version of herself and goes into a deep voice. And it doesn't make any sense at all, but because it's Nokotan, to everyone else, it makes total sense, except to Koshitan, of course. And it's just so random. It's like the best part of the show. She has like a little chibi version of herself. She can get serious sometimes. She can be manly JoJo, and then her regular airheaded self. So that's like the best part of playing Nokotan. She can do everything, and it's literally just her. One of my favorite parts of the show, too, not involving me, would be, well, kind of involving me, but it would be Koshitan. She'd be like, it was Rude doing episode 10, I believe, and she was like, come here, Nokotan, I have a special surprise for you. And then she just grabbed Nokotan like this. It was pretty funny for me.
For me, my favorite moment was the Wild Deer Game of Life episode. One, because that was the episode the narrator talks the most and goes off the rails the entire time. But my favorite part of that was the part where Nokotan washes up on Alaska and she turns into a moose. The line that was written was not what I said. It was like they were very, very clearly it was referencing Pokemon, and it was written like whoa, Nokotan's moose now or something like that. And I was like, I watched the scene and I was like, hold on. I was like, can I change this? And they're like, well, you don't know. Like the client was pretty set on the script, and I was like, I'm making fun of Pokemon. Can I change this to Pokemon? And she was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. So and I said, congratulations, Nokotan evolved into a moose. And she was like, we're keeping it. I don't care what the client says. That was my favorite. I was like, good. I got to put a joke into the show. So that was my favorite part of that. Are there any other questions?
Two things. What was the most memorable technical challenge of doing this the way that you did? Okay, I had a spot there. What was the most memorable technical challenge of doing this? And can what Jacksonville has really be called a football team?
Wait, what was the second one?
And can what Jacksonville has really be called a football team?
Well,
I mean, they don't seem to show up for the game, so I'm just curious.
Did you get American Bowl game?
Wait, I'm sorry.
He said what Jacksonville has even be called a football team. Listen,
I was there and I was praising that team when Mauricio, Drew, and David Gerard were the main people, and I was standing with them. I believe in Trevor Lawrence. I believe in Travis Etienne, and I can't believe that they got Travis Hunter. That's amazing. Now if they blow it this year, then I don't know, man. Dude, I'm a suffering Jaguars fan for the past close to 20 years. I'm feeling like a Browns fan right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude,
It's all right. The Cubs won eventually too. Took them 20 years, but there you go.
we're in our how the Patriots used to be bad before even Drew Bledsoe. We're in that era, and we're trying to get to the Drew Bledsoe era. But what was the first question?
Most memorable technical challenge.
It's definitely a good question. So because we're all remote, we have to kind of manually do our settings. Like if, for example, if Lynn, our director, were to say, your gain's kind of low, can you bring it up? So we have to, because we have an interface in our booth for our mic. For me, I have to turn it up and test it. It's like, check. Lynn, is that okay? And she's like, fine. Actually, you're too hot. You go down a little bit. Okay, how about 2 notches? Perfect. That was honestly the one technical issue that I had. But if there's a lawnmower going on in the background, then we have to take about a 5-minute break. Because for me, the lawnmowers were pretty loud. And Lynn's like, do I hear a lawnmower? What is that? I'm like, they said that they do it on Tuesday, they told me. And not Wednesday. But it's Wednesday. And they're doing it. I'm sorry. But yeah, sound, those 2 things were probably the worst for me.
For me, the proprietary software that Studio Alcatel used was the absolute bane of my existence because it never worked. Because usually, like, you'll connect through Source Connect or SessionLink or something like that, and they'll be recording you through that. But they had their own proprietary software where instead of recording like locally on their computer, it was like a web-based thing. And they would record into the browser, into the cloud, and then they would download from the cloud. Now, there are other studios that operate very similarly, excuse me, and it works great. Theirs did not. So it was very much consistently like, it's working, like I remember one time I spent an hour and a half waiting for them to figure out the tech issues because they couldn't get it to work. So for me, and I guess I think almost everyone else at the table is probably going to say the same thing, but
there were times when we had to do revisions, right? And we would have to do it by ourselves and without the audio engineer.
I refuse to do that without an engineer.
It was rough. You have to click you got to go into this website thing through their software, and then you have to record it yourself. You got to click a certain button, then you have to save it, and then it's finally saved. And then sometimes people were struggling so much during that process. So we would have a group chat and every time we're like, how do you work this thing by yourself? It was rough, I'll tell you that.
No, I legitimately told them I will not record revisions without an engineer. Because that process also is, you can't just go in and fix a recording, you have to start all over. And it's very, we can't even call it destructive editing, because it's not even editing. But my technical issues are a little bit different, because if y'all don't know already, I'm actually a Houston native. And born and raised. Do y'all remember when all the power went out and it flooded last year? That happened in the middle of us recording. So luckily, like kind of the sentiment that we were sharing earlier, I had recently formed the Houston VO community, which we have a panel on tomorrow at 10 a.m. And about the Houston voiceover community and industry. have a Nokotan from her apartment with her cat like meowing at me half the time in the booth, and I was just like, Mr. Clouseau, you gotta shut up. But the other technical issue that I had was the line adaptation was not always the strongest because this was also like a Brazilian-based studio. The translation it was like a Japanese translated into Portuguese, translated into English, and so the lines, and especially from Tanukikōji, it's very like, and half the time. And so it was very hard to get the lip flaps down and just record these essentially monologues in the context of like these line flaps with the script that was given. And that was my most technically distressing issue. I did it though.
Yeah, I know we technically started late. I still see some time on the timer, but I know it is 11. Is there any other rapid fire questions before we cut in? Well, I appreciate how you got me back.
Yeah. At what point in your life did you know that you wanted to fully commit to voice acting?
So, for me, so I was a football dude, as you can probably tell. I did football because I could lose weight and because of other stuff. And it didn't really work out because my coach put me to play on 2 torn ACLs, unoperated on. That's another story. But in college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was a personal trainer at some point. I was in like the resident hall association doing student affairs work. I didn't know what I wanted to do. But my friend wanted to play Dominic Ropa together. And I was like, what is that? That sounds cool. So we played it together, and it was all like, it was a visual novel. And we were all just like doing voices. I gave this one character, Byakuya Dogami, an English accent, and like a British Polish accent for some reason. No, it doesn't. It sucks. But I was having fun. That's what matters. But after that, I was like, well, this is kind of fun. This is kind of cool. And my friend wanted to get into it. So I'm like, I'll support you. Because I don't know what I want to do with my life right now. Well, one thing led to another. I really loved it. I fell in love with it. And 7 years later, I'm here. That's a really condensed version.
For me, I went to school for audio engineering, so voice acting wasn't even in the headspace. Fresh out of school, I got a job at a local Miami voiceover studio, and I was like, oh, what? Voice acting? I just watched cartoons. That's all. So I went to school for audio engineering, and fresh out of school, I got a job at a voiceover studio in Miami, and they were doing voiceovers, and I was like, this is crazy. I never thought I'd ever work in anything like this. I wonder if I could do voiceover. I don't want to do this. That's cool. I worked the casting director for 6 months until finally he got sick of me and said, if I cast you, would you shut up? And I was like, yeah. And it kind of like, I never thought that was going to be my trajectory, but I took it, I ran with it, and 11 years later, here we are.
For me, I actually don't solely do voiceover. I'm very passionate about it. I always give my 100%. And I am a consistently working actress, but I also work in the Texas Medical Center. I went to school for biochemistry and medical laboratory science, and that's something that I love and adore with all my heart, and I wish to continue doing that. But at the same time, I love acting, and I did a lot of studying in acting too, during college and high school as well. And it's something that I also adore with all of my heart. And it's always been my, I have this sentiment that as long as you are passionate about what you do and you follow that passion, no matter what you do, you will find a way to be successful. And you will be successful because it's an energy that resonates from within you. So, not that I don't give voiceover my 100%, and sometimes I can't give it like the #1 priority of my life, right? But it's not impossible to do the thing, all the things that you love, and everything that you want to make out of a career and profession. It's really hard. Like, brother, I don't sleep, but it's possible.
I watched Pokemon as a kid, and then I wanted to be a voice actor after watching a voice actor do it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys so much for coming. We're a little over, so if you'd like to, come talk to us, hang out with us, we got our voice acting booth over with all the voice actors right outside the dealer's room, and we are doing another panel with all the voice actors. So if you do have more questions that you'd like to ask, there will be another Q&A. I think at noon.
At noon, at 12, so not too far away. Yeah, expecting more questions about voiceover and voice acting. Thank you, Kat, for your time.
Say hello.
Thank you.